Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review Gladiator 2. Now, for starters, I have not seen the first Gladiator, so I have no basis of comparison. However, after watching this movie, I feel like I've already seen the first one multiple times because, well, we'll talk about it because I don't know. I just have the feeling it had all the hallmarks of a modern day sequel, for better or for worse. So I would also say that, I am not a huge fan of Ridley Scott. I think he's one of the most overrated directors of all time. I mean, Napoleon last year was abysmal. It was terrible. It was so historically inaccurate. It was just a giant joke. And funnily enough, though, this movie had everything going against it for me. Number one, I don't like these types of movies. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm sick and tired of Rome. Like, I've had enough of Rome. I've had enough of the crazy leadership and the swords and sandals and the gladiators and I've had enough of the Roman Empire. I've had enough of that because I guess because, like modern day America is like a modern Rome. And so I just don't like watching that because it's just a reminder of how things are like here in modern day. And then, I haven't seen the first one, so I really wasn't excited based on that. Number three, the trailer was terrible for this movie. They played this stupid rap music, which has been another kind of like modern trend, is like in order to have like a legitimate movie trailer, you either have to play rap music behind it or you have to play like a dark cover of an old song. And this movie's trailer it looked really, really bad. And then also, I've never seen a movie with Paul Mescal before. This, I think, is my first one. So this movie had literally everything going against it. Everything. I mean, I was ready to hate this movie. I was ready to say this is the stupidest shit ever. And guess what? I really like this movie. In terms of this year, it was one of the better movies for sure. It started off really bad, and we'll talk about why. But then as the movie goes on, I would say like at the hour mark, the first hour mark, that's when the movie gets good. And it never stops being just pretty good. And it was so entertaining. It was so enjoyable. It was just a fun time at the movies. And I can't hate it for that because like there's so many movies nowadays and they don't let you have fun. And they're just crap, and you just feel like you wasted money, and you feel like you wish you didn't even go see the movie to begin with, and this, on the other hand, it's like, how can you really hate this movie? I mean, it's a fun movie. It's not one of the greatest movies ever made, but it's damn one of the better movies of this year, that's for sure. We've had some bad movies this year, and this movie is definitely not one of them. So, let's see. First off, in terms of why I said this is like a modern sequel type of thing, like it really feels like a modern sequel, is because it feels like every 10 minutes they have to say the word Maximus, or else all the characters will die and the movie will end. Like every 10 minutes, they have to bring up the first Gladiator. They have to mention like a quote. They have to do like a callback. Like this movie had more callbacks than Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. it had more callbacks than Alien Romulus. So yeah, that was a big issue for me with this movie, was the constant calling back, member berries, nostalgia bait. It didn't need it because the movie was good all on its own. I can't speak to whether or not it copied the first movie because obviously I haven't seen the first movie, so I wouldn't know. I would just say, I mean, it's got all the typical things you'd have in a Roman Empire story and a Gladiator story. I mean, honestly, like, the story was kind of predictable. And there was some emotional weight, though, to the fights. The fights were a lot of fun. I think, like, obviously, like, there was a lot of money put into this movie, so the fights better be fun. And, yeah. And then Denzel Washington, I guess he's kind of like one of the villains in this movie. I was really hesitant about him based on the trailer, but he did a really good job. I thought that Pedro Pascal was kind of underused. I felt like his character was kind of like, I mean, you saw him in the trailer, and that's another thing too. The trailer spoiled a lot, and I feel like I wished I hadn't seen the trailer before I saw the movie, because it would have made it a little bit better. And then I guess the only character from the first movie, like, technically, is Lucilla. And I thought that she was fine. And then the two emperors of Rome are like these twin, like, freakazoid guys who they're kind of like Ron Weasley's brothers, you know, Fred and the other guy. What was the other guy's name? You know, the two Weasley twins. God, why can't I remember them? But that's what they were like to me. They were like a crazy version of them. And I don't really have much else to say, honestly. Like, it was a fun movie. It started off really... Oh, okay, here's what we should talk about. The bad stuff. It started off, and the way that it started, it really reminded me of, like, when I was a kid, my parents would rent movies from Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, and they would be these really boring, like, generic movies. Like, there was this one, and it was like a Hercules movie or something, and it was so boring and bad. And that's what this felt like for me. It felt like a really mediocre early 2000s movie that my parents rented at the video store. And also, the way that it started, it had the look and feel of, like, a historical reenactment for, like, a documentary. Like, it didn't look good at all. And, I mean, I would just say, in general, this movie really does feel like fantasy. It feels like an MCU movie, almost, without all of the humor. Well, yeah. I mean, it really does. It feels very, blockbustery, and I don't know, there's just this artificialness to it, and the biggest reason why is because the main character, you know, this isn't a spoiler. He had a wife, and they show them at the beginning of the movie, and I guess she got cut from the movie because she supports Palestine, and she is a Palestinian actress, and so they cut her stuff from the movie. And it's funny, though, because, like, I could tell, because they show them at the beginning of the movie, and there's no chemistry there whatsoever. There's no relationship there. All they do is just kiss. And it's like, yeah, like, a kiss is not... That doesn't do anything. All that does is just say these two characters are either fuck buddies or they're in a relationship, but it doesn't show you a relationship. A relationship is a lot more than just kissing, touching, sex, and all that crap. So I really felt like that was stupid and dumb, and her character was trash the way that she was in the official movie. Like, she wasn't even a character. She was just the woman character who's there to kiss the main guy and then get killed. And then his character's motivation, it's like, you know, this is coming from someone who didn't see the first one, so my only motivation that I could see for him was he had this woman and they kissed, and then she got killed. Like, that's a terrible motivation for a character. And speaking of terrible characters, my biggest issue with this movie was Paul Mescal. I don't know why this guy is being pushed now in every single movie ever. Like, he's going to be in the new Frankenstein. He's going to be in the new Wuthering Heights. He's going to be in the new this and that. And I have no idea why. Because he is the most generic, white bread guy. He looks like he should be like in an underwear commercial. He has no charisma whatsoever. He has the same face the entire movie. Even at the end of the movie, after he's gone through all that he's gone through, he just has the same boring face. I hated his character. And but despite all of that, I really enjoyed this movie for what it was. It was a thoroughly entertaining and fun movie. And I would recommend it, too. I would say, like, you know, it's nice to go to the movies and have fun. You know, not every movie needs to be Juror Number 2. Because that movie was a masterpiece. But anyways, in terms of food, this movie is like... This movie is... I'm trying to think of something Frozen. Because this movie... This is definitely like a frozen food movie. This is not a fresh meal. This is not a fresh dinner. This is a frozen dinner. This is a frozen movie. Because it really feels unnecessary. I don't even think it needed to be related to Gladiator. I think it could have just been its own thing. Because all that it did with Gladiator was just have the member berry stuff over and over again the whole movie. You didn't actually have to make it Gladiator 2. But anyways, this movie is like a frozen... I can't think of it. I'm trying to, and I just can't. Frozen... Something frozen. Bernie, my cat is on my bed right now. He's going to ruin my sleep again. Bernie, what is a frozen? Tell me a frozen, Bernie. Never mind. I would just say, you know... Oh, no, I'm going to... No. Because I did enjoy the movie. Like, in terms of stars, like, out of 5 stars, I would give this a solid 3.5. It was not a bad movie, but it was not great. So it's a Frozen... Damn it. Frozen... Take a shot every time I say Frozen. Frozen... Damn it. This movie... Fuck it. This movie is a frozen cheeseburger with frozen French fries, and it was frozen and then it wasn't because I put it in the oven. That's what this movie is. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you entertained by my food review? And why do I say that? Because I feel like every single movie is getting a sequel now, and they all follow the same fucking blueprint. Like, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not because it's on the poster, but there's a part in the movie where you see the Maximus's armor from the first movie, and then the main character puts it on, and he uses his sword, and it's like, oh my god. Just nostalgia bait at its cheapest. So please like this video and comment and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.